Hey all, welcome back to the Sojourner Classroom. I am Wendy, the teaching mom of the Sojourner Classroom. And I just want to do a quick intro real quick for this video that I just finished filming, but I don't have an intro for it yet. I have been filming all week doing meals of suppers. I didn't record a couple of them, but I did tell you about them. There were a couple that I couldn't record, but I did tell you about. But I want to do a quick intro for this video. This is week 2 of our pantry challenge. And like I said in the last video about this, we're not doing full-on pantry challenge as some people are. The rules that I think me and my husband have kind of set for ourselves is, well, you know what? Let's just do as much as we can, keeping it interesting without going to the store. So it's been 2 weeks. No grocery store. I normally would have gone to the grocery store last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. This is a Saturday. It would have been last weekend. We did not go to the store, so we have been almost 4 weeks. No grocery store right now at this point. Only 2 weeks worth of it technically being pantry challenge for us. But we are getting a little low on some things, but we still have plenty to eat meals-wise and all. So this is a full week of meals, using things, trying to utilize some things that have just been sitting in my pantry that we haven't been using, but also still using the things we usually use because 1, you don't want them to go bad. 2, you want to make sure little ones are going to eat, because if you do too many new things, they ain't going to eat. They don't. So y'all know how that goes. But so we're just going to keep going that way as we can. We may do a small trip sometime. Next weekend would be my next normal grocery trip. And I'm trying to, we normally would go grocery shopping every other weekend. And my goal for this year is to spend no more than $400 for each of those, but budget-wise for each of those weekends. I would love to have it $300 or less, but my budget I have set for myself, hopefully no more than $400. I have been working on an Azure order that I want to do to stock us up on some things that I am hoping will stock us up on those items for a year. So when I do that, that may be a bit more than $400. We'll see. Right now it's either right under or right over. I'm not sure. So we will see on that. But like I said, that stuff hopefully stock us up for the year. I would like to find a place where I could get enough meats to last us several months, more than a year. Our deep freezer is almost empty. I probably could take everything that's in it out and put them in these other freezers, and I may do that sometime soon just so I can turn it off, let it defrost. I got a couple of boxes stuck to the bottom of it. I want to get those out of there while I can, and then maybe fill it up and try to do something to make it so that doesn't happen again. My mother-in-law suggested putting a towel on the bottom. That could work. Well, I'll see. But so whenever if I am able to do that with the meats, then that haul will be a little bit more. But doing those two things will hopefully help make it so that the rest of our grocery trips for the rest of the year can be a little bit lower. That is my hope. That is my goal. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video of suppers for a week for us. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. All right, so for this meal, we are trying to start utilize a few things in our pantry that we haven't used a whole lot. These we go through quite a bit of, but I used some steak, or it was technically stew meat. Some beef stew meat that I had put in the freezer quite a while ago and divided up into individual bags. I put 2 of those in here, and we're going to make stir fry with it. So I have those. Ella, can you turn that down, please? While Mommy's doing this? Or you guys can, yeah, Dad's work too. Thank you. And I cooked that up. And then I'm going to see if I can bring you closer to the pot, actually, instead of the counter. Okay, there we go. So here I have the stew meat. I put a little bit of soy sauce on it and a little bit of Montreal steak seasoning. Cooked that up. Then I added 4 cups of water, 2 cups of rice. And then normally when I make my stir fry, I will do peppers and onion mix. And I do have some of that in the freezer, which I need to use up. But I might do that at some point when I'm doing a meal that more just me and Austin will eat. But I want to try to get the kids to eat some stir fry, since I'm adding some things in it today that are actually supposed to be really good for you. I mean, all that stuff's good for you anyways. But, so I'm going to try a can of carrots and a can of corn because my kids like carrots and corn. Austin's not big on the carrots, but he can pick them out. One of the other kids will eat them. But he likes corn. And I'm also going to we have some green beans left in the refrigerator. I am going to put that in there too. And I'm actually just going to put all the juice in there too. I should have thought of that and just measured that out instead of water, but it will be okay. This juice that these are in, maybe I'll get rid of the carrot one. Let me get one of those. I think I will. I'll get rid of the carrot one just so it's not too much water. And then I'm going to get those green beans out of the refrigerator. This is probably about half a can or so that was left from another meal. And the kids will probably pick the green beans out of theirs, but that's okay. Me and Austin will eat their green beans. I'm going to turn this back up to high. I turned it down so the meat wouldn't burn while I was getting the rice ready. And then I have some other things that have been in my cabinet waiting for me to get brave enough to use. For the most part. I'm not good at convincing myself to try new things. So, I had to ask my mom how to use these because I know my mom has added these to stir fry. Well, 2 of these things my mom has added to stir fry at her house, and I like it. And where Austin has not been feeling good and all, I'm hoping that some of these will honestly help him. Because he's been feeling better, but still tired a lot. So I'm hoping that some of these might help with that. Barley and buckwheat. And she told me to just set them to soak, like before I put anything in the frying pan. And then once everything else was in, to put these in last. And just add it. And I'm hoping I'm supposed to add the water as well. I think so. It sounded like. So I'm just going to pour all this in here. I just did half a cup of barley, half a cup of buckwheat. And then I found, let me finish with this so I'm not making noise over it. Turn this fan off too. That should help with hearing. When I was getting the stuff out, the barley and the buckwheat and the rice out of the cabinet, I also found a bag of farro that somebody had given me. And I've heard it's supposed to be really good in like soups, stir fries, or salads, even raw salads, but I have yet to try it. So I just stuck a couple of handfuls of that in here. So, and that's supposed to be really good for you, a really good source of fiber too. And I think it's buckwheat. It's supposed to be really good for you energy-wise, so I'm hoping that will help my husband out. So, all that in there, we're going to let that boil. Get to a boil, then turn it down and cook it. And we'll see what it's like when it's done. So here is our stir-fry plate. This one's mine. And we have some cornbread muffins left, so we are eating those with it. Looks good. I can't wait to try it. Alrighty. Tonight's supper. So, I wanted to do something with chicken. But I didn't know what to do with it. I wanted to do something different. And I also had, And I had some beans that I was also getting ready. So I have also today cooked some of the Great Northern beans. I had rinsed. I started them rinsing Saturday. Today I cooked them. And so I kind of thought, you know, well, what if I tried to do a chicken chili? But the recipes that I looked at had some ingredients that I do not have. So that wasn't an option. But that got me looking at some other recipes that I'd saved that I have not used. Hang on one second. And I realized that I had almost all of the ingredients for a baked chicken spaghetti that I had wanted to try. I have almost all the ingredients for it, and the ones that I didn't have, they're probably ones that most people would normally put in a baked chicken spaghetti, but I think the dish will still be very good without them. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. As a matter of fact, I think my kids will like it better without those particular. I got a thing of hair. So we're going to give it a try. So I have spaghetti noodles cooking, and it said to cook the chicken breasts and flavor those and stuff, and then cut them into strips. But knowing my kids, they're gonna like it better cut up. So I am dicing it. I'm dicing this chicken before I even cook it. So that way all of the pieces will get seasoned pretty good. And I'm not sure will I use all the seasonings that it suggested or not. I may just use a couple. We'll see. I need to relook at those. So I will definitely be on and off with the recording because I'm going to need to be on my phone some for this recipe. And then if I like it, then I need to try to find a way to print it or just write it all out, which I may do. I have found on Amazon has this like recipe book that I think is really cute that I could write in. Anyways, so I am cutting up this chicken, and once I get all of my ingredients out for flavoring the chicken, I'll try to bring you back for that so that I can try to bring you along for trying this new recipe tonight. And this is actually going to use something else in my pantry that doesn't get used very often. But so this recipe will use spaghetti noodles, which I usually only use in spaghetti, but buying it in bulk, I have a lot of it, and we just have not been making that much spaghetti lately. So I do make it every once in a while because my son, my oldest, Henry, loves to have his spaghetti every once in a while, but he also gets it quite a bit at Grandma's house, so I don't have to make it as much. Because with all the grandkids at her house once a week, she tries to make something that's super kid-friendly every week. So it's usually either macaroni and cheese or spaghetti or beef stroganoff because all the kids love those. But so that sometimes makes it so that I don't have to make it for quite a while, which works for me because I don't care for spaghetti. Anyways, but so it will use some spaghetti noodles. But this is also going to use up, hopefully, my last thing of sour cream that I need to get used. It needs to be used soon. So it will do that for me. And then I think I also need to, while the noodles and the chicken is cooking, I need to get some cheeses ready because this is going to take, I believe, some sharp cheddar, which I need to shred, and some Parmesan, which I also need to shred and grate. So I'm trying to switch us over to all block cheese where I'd shred it or slice it or whatever myself, but we're making the transition slowly. We are still doing some, we still do Velveeta cheese because, you know, the kids love it, but my husband likes it too. I like it. Honestly, I like Velveeta cheese. It's nice sometimes. I know it's not the best for you, but we like it sometimes. And it's better for you than some other stuff out there. We go with that. But I still need to work on figuring out my being able to buy those cheeses in bulk without having them go bad on me. But I do think that they last longer. Now, if I have discovered that freezing them and then trying to shred them, they just crumble, which I guess if you're just shredding them, that's fine. But if you wanted to slice them or something, they're not as good. So you don't want to freeze them if you want to do that. And somebody I watched said that she's discovered it's better to shred it than freeze it. So that's probably what I should try to do. But because if I want to buy more than 1 month's worth at a time, that's what I need. I need to do something like that. But we're going to work on figuring all that out. Right now, I do have some sharp cheddar and some Parmesan cheese that I need to shred up. And I have some already shredded mozzarella, but we don't need that for this dish, I don't believe. I believe it's just the sharp cheddar and the Parmesan. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out my seasonings for the chicken so we can get that started. And then we'll bring you back. Alrighty. So I am definitely going to adjust seasonings for the chicken just a little bit. Maybe I'll regret that. Maybe not. But I don't know. I think the flavoring is still going to be really good in itself, just with the other stuff that goes in it later. So we have spaghetti noodles here. They're probably almost done. Yeah, almost done. Let me get this chicken started. It says to use cooking oil for this. I opted just for butter. I don't know why. Usually when I try to do a little bit of cooking oil in a pan, well, now I can't say usually. The idea has always just kind of freaked me out. And the one time that I did attempt it, my frying pan caught fire and I burnt my arm trying to get it covered up. So nothing totally bad happened, but I did end up with a little burn. Oh, it's right here. My scar right there. You probably can't see it on camera, but anyways. So I just opt for butter usually. And I figured that worked just as well. So I'm going to put this in the diced chicken. Again, it said to use chicken, just use chicken breasts and then cut them into strips later. I opted to go ahead and just cut them beforehand and into chunks. Because my kids will be more apt to actually eat some of the chicken that way. If I cut it in strips, they're going to think it's too long of pieces. This way, I can make sure that they at least get a couple of pieces of chicken each and say, you have to eat that amount. If it's too big of a piece, they'll think it's too much. And then, let's see, it had listed to use onion powder. I am actually out of onion powder. Or, well, I don't have any. I probably never have. The spices part of cooking is probably an area that I need to branch out on more. I have never been good with spices. Seasonings. So, whoops. I don't know why I'm just shaking it in here. This is supposed to be a teaspoon of this. So, we'll say I've already put a little bit in. I just won't do a whole teaspoon. Now, the recipe actually says half, but my noodles is doubled. And I had one extra chicken breast than what it said. So I'm just going to double everything else to about even it out. Again, I did not have the onion powder, garlic powder. It also, and I'm going to do salt and pepper. These it said to taste, so I'm just going to be a little more liberal with these since I'm not using the other things. It also listed paprika. But I am wanting to try to do it without paprika. I do not do a lot of cooking with paprika. If it's something that I think my mom wouldn't like anyways, I'll go ahead and put paprika in it if I think me and my husband will like it. But if it's something that I think maybe my mom would like and I want to give the recipe a try without it, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm doing here. I want to know if this is good without the paprika. Of course, I don't even know if it's good with the paprika in it. But I know my mom is allergic to paprika. So if my mom was wanting to eat this, she couldn't eat it if I put paprika in it. So I'm just going to leave it seasoned like that. I think that's good enough. We're going to go ahead and let those cook and brown. I'll bring you back when these are both done and we're ready to put everything in the thing. Well, I might bring you back in a minute for a little bit of cheese shredding. In here, I have, okay, Austin, shh. Mommy doing video. Shh. So in here, I have 1 pound of spaghetti, 3 chicken breasts chopped with the seasonings that I mentioned, which I just did. Again, I just did salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and butter. Then there is also in here 1/2 cup grated Parmesan cheese. I'll show you my Parmesan cheese helper in a minute. And then there is 1 cup of sour cream. That did not use all the sour cream that I need to get gone. So we'll have to find another sour cream recipe. Or if we like this enough, we make it again. Because I do have enough chicken that I could make this one more time. Also putting in here 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I chopped this just a little while ago. Henry is over here working on our Parmesan cheese. Anyways, we're going to mix this all together. I might show them you in a minute, but right now I'm showing them what I'm doing for this dinner. I'm going to mix this all together, and then it says to put it in a baking dish at 375 for 25 minutes. It says to cover it with foil. Honestly, I haven't totally decided which baking dish I'm putting it in. I need one big enough. Honestly, I might need to put it in my roaster. Let's see. It says to cover it with foil, bake for 25 minutes. He's learning how.
My first time.
Here we go, y'all. Baked chicken. It smells so good. And I got little bowls for the kids. Well, not little, but smaller amounts for them. This looks so good, y'all. I can't wait to try it. Okay. I'm getting ready to take care of my meat for the week. My milk for the week. And I just thought I'd talk some about what we've done for meals for the last couple of days because I haven't been able to record. There's been a whole lot to record. I think the last one that I recorded would have been the baked spaghetti. So we did stir fry, we did the baked spaghetti, and the baked spaghetti was really good. The stir fry was really good. The baked spaghetti was really good. Everybody really liked it except for, well, little Austin didn't really eat it, but he's been kind of sick. He's had a bad cold, so I just don't think anything really tastes that good to him. And then the next day we did, let's see, we had the baked spaghetti. The next day we did leftovers, so baked spaghetti again, because we still have plenty. No. Okay. Go ahead. Mama's busy, okay? Shh. And then, okay, so we had leftovers. Wednesday is a church night for us, so I don't normally cook. I did end up, well, I had leftovers for lunch. I had leftover stir fry for lunch both of those days. And Austin did yesterday and today as well. That finishes the stir fry off. But Wednesday night, little Austin was still sick, so me and him stayed home with the baby. And we had, we grabbed a can of our chicken out of the cabinet and had just that mixed with Merrick Whip and dipped chips in it. That was our supper. And then yesterday, Grandma Day, so I wasn't here most of the day. And then me and Austin both had a meeting at church last night. So I got things ready, took stuff for the kids to be able to sit there and quietly do. And anyway, so we just had easy lunch last night. I made the kids sandwiches. Henry, Ella, and Austin both had peanut butter and honey. Finished off the last of my loaf bread. Henry used some of the hamburger buns that I had made last week, and he had a deli sandwich. And then I also used some of the hamburger buns, and I had some Philly meat. The box of the Philly steak meat that I had bought at the store, it wasn't like I thought it was gonna be, but it does cook up really good. So we have actually been enjoying those. We ate a little bit of it one other time when we just wanted a little bit, not a lot. But this time I made those up. I made a couple of those up, mixed peppers and onions in it. And I turned that into 2 sandwiches for Austin. So he basically had Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. So he had Philly cheesesteak sandwiches basically. I just put mine on a plate, no bread, and then I sprinkled some cheese on it. So, and that was very filling for me. That was more than enough for me, even just that way. I thought about making me some rice to go with mine, and I think that would have been really good. But I didn't feel like I had that much time. We had the meeting at church, and I had some work that I had to do there because I do a little bit of work for our church that I get paid for, and it takes me a couple days a week usually to get it done, depending on what needs to be done. This is end of the year time, getting into year stuff out, so it take me a little bit. I knew it was going to take me a little bit longer, so we needed to be there early so that I could get that done before the meeting. So that's what we did, and Austin was actually asleep when I fed the other kids for his nap, so we ended up taking his in a little square. And he ate right before the meeting. He finally decided he was hungry, and he sat down and ate. And I also took them a snack and stuff to do. So that's been our eventful week of meals so far. Today, I have cooked a turkey. And it's probably done early for the fact that I technically want it for supper. But I figured that would put the main part of our meal out of the way. It looks so good. I'm about to go ahead and get the skin off of it before it's not crispy anymore, because I'm the only one that likes to eat the skin, crispy skin anyways. So I'm going to get it off before it gets soft and not crispy. I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if I feel brave enough to make some turkey gravy. I never made gravies from scratch before. I have tried once and it didn't come out very good. But I really want to try to make turkey gravy, because that's the only gravy that turkey gravy and roast pork gravy I really like. But I definitely do not know how to make roast pork gravy. But all in our learnings for the kitchen, I think that's something I'd like to try to do this year, is learn how to make gravies from scratch. So I'm going to see if I'm brave enough to do that this afternoon. I also have not yet decided what I'm going to make to go with it. But I'm going to have to get started on that soon, because it is, what time is it? 12:30. So I need to get some stuff prepped for that. I need to get these milks put away. But that's what we've done so far. Turkey is technically ready for tonight. I'm going to see what I'm going to do, how I'm going to make it for the table tonight. We'll see. And we'll see y'all with that. I got my turkey gravy made. And I did a little taste test, and it tastes pretty good. So normally I would probably actually not strain it necessarily right away. But if I was like making it right before we were going to eat, I probably wouldn't strain it immediately. Maybe I would. I don't know. Because that's a lot of stuff that my kids would not want in their gravy. So, I'm going to do that. There's a little bit left in the pan over there, but I'm going to leave it alone because my bowl's full anyways. It might not be quite thick enough as it should be, but for a first time, I think it's good, and I think it definitely had the flavor, so me and my husband will still eat it, even if the kids choose not to. Whether we do it maybe with some biscuits or with some potatoes. I think I'm going to make some potatoes tonight. because my mom had potatoes and turkey with turkey gravy yesterday. It was really good. And I want some more. So that's my gravy. First time homemade gravy. I think it came out pretty good. We'll see what my husband says later. Okay, gonna try to get this real quick. No, Austin. Here's our plate. So we ended up doing turkey, potatoes. My gravy came out fairly well. I think it's not quite thick enough, but the flavor was really good, so I went ahead and just left it alone. This little Austin's plate. Ella's up here. It's the same. They have corn on the cob, Austin, because we have lots of corn on the cob in the freezer, and the kids love it. I like it too, but I opted for something else tonight. Henry does not like gravy, so ketchup on his potatoes. This is my plate. We have a bunch of these diced frozen beets that I had gotten from Azure, and I like them okay, but I actually like canned beets better, and the kids do not like these. So I figured while I have the corn on the cob that they really like to eat, I would go ahead and have some of those beets tonight. And then Austin does not really like either of those, but he loves green beans more than any of the rest, and he loves mushrooms. So I may just make him a little mixture of green beans and mushrooms, and then he gets the drumstick. I have already gone ahead and deboned the whole turkey, except that one drumstick. And so that's all put away, and I have all the bones in a container waiting for me to hopefully this weekend make bone broth. So trying to utilize all that stuff in our cabinets, few of the things, the mushrooms and the beets that we don't use that often, and try to make us some bone broth. So that is supper tonight. For tonight's supper, last night we did that turkey. Today, I have this big bowl that was full of turkey. I chopped some of it up in here, so we have that. I'm about to go get the other stuff that I want to put in here. Hang on one second. Alrighty. So, to end out this week of Pantry Challenge, yesterday we did the turkey, and we had a little bit of leftovers from that I will probably turn into a small meal for myself. But we also have the big bowl of turkey and quite a bit of turkey gravy that I made that was a little bit too thin, but it had really good flavor. So I will work on that, getting better at that hopefully. But I do have packets of gravy mixes that I can use to make gravy as well, so we will try to use those up as well. But I really do want to get better at making gravy from scratch myself. But for tonight, for supper for everybody, what I did is I took leftover turkey, chopped it up, put some in here. I'm waiting on my oven to heat up, but we have this pan here. I put turkey on the bottom. Then I have my quart-size bags of frozen corn in the freezer. I put about half of one of those on it. And then I put the rest of the turkey gravy that I had made and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Anyway, so I put those on, and then I put 2 cups of white rice on, and I put 4 cups of water to make sure that the rice fully cooks and whatnot. So I'm hoping that'll be good. It was just a real easy meal, hopefully, for tonight, and hopefully everybody will like it because the kids can doctor that up with salt, pepper, ketchup probably for Henry, and hopefully that will be good for tonight. Tomorrow I want to try to do something else with more of the leftovers because I had a big bowl of leftover turkey. So that should last us a good few meals for the next few days. So that will be nice to use up. Anyway, so we have that for supper tonight. I will try to show you end product when it's done. So we'll be back to show you it on a plate. Okay, didn't get the clip earlier, but this is the leftovers from tonight's supper. So it came out pretty good, but I think I should not have added so much water to it because it took it forever to cook. and I think it diluted some of the flavor as well. So if I do this again, I will do less water. But it was pretty good. Austin was able to eat his fine. He seasoned his with hot sauce. Henry seasoned his with ketchup and liked it. Stop that. This being rude. Mommy's trying to record. And I think I ate 2 helpings of it, honestly. I was that hungry, but I was that tired that I did not do anything extra to mine. But I think for eating these leftovers, I'll probably just warm it up and then add some cheese on top, and that will flavor it just fine for me. I will like it better that way. So this will get eaten. People can flavor it themselves. So it was good, but yes, less water next time I make it. So this will end out this week of Pantry Challenge. Hope you enjoy this video, and we'll catch you again next time. Bye-bye.